Yo, I've been covering my entire playthrough of Pokémon Violet ever since it came out, and in celebration of the final part of the game coming out, I thought we could put all of the videos together. And also, before we hop in, if you want to see more of Pokémon Violet, the entire cut of the game is on the VOD's channel right now. Links are in the description. Oh yeah, I added some new content to the video, so make sure to look out for it. Anyway, let's go on the journey through Paldea and beyond one more time. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet just came out, well, a week ago. So today, I'm going to show you my run through the beginning of the game and Victory Road, one of the quests in the game. You know, there's going to be so many twists and turns and everything just gonna go right! So I start by naming my character Arieis, me and my mom, and then someone mysteriously barges in. Kind of reminds me of someone.
Wow, okay, you can just let yourself in, alright. Not that I mind, no, none of us care.
We head outside to meet our first Pokemon. Sprigatito, Quaxly, and this thing. We take a nice walk with them over to my neighbor's house. We meet our rival Nemona. I'm gonna kick your ass. I'm Nemona. Nemona, you can Nemone me anytime.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
Now it is time for us to pick our starter Pokemon. Oh, this was like what they showed in the trailers. I choose Sprigatito, name it Salad, while Nemona chooses Quaxly. We go for a battle on the beach where I proceed to smash. Nope, not that one. No, wrong word. Destroy Nemona's Quaxly. We say goodbye to my mom, and now our adventures in the great and glitchy Paldea region begins. We fall down a cliff with probably the best animation I have ever seen. That animation. We meet Miraidon, who guides us to the cave to get out. No shit, like, I mean, what else is it gonna do? We meet some guy outside the lighthouse who's kinda mean. His name is Arvin. He tries to battle us, but utterly gets destroyed. And then we give Miraidon's Pokeball. We set our sights to the academy. Oh yeah, and here's a little bit of a plot summary of what's going on. We're going to an academy called Yuva Academy. And after a couple trainer battles, we have finally made it to Mezagoza. But first, another battle with Nemona and her Pokemon with light balls on their heads. This is called terrestrializing. Here's an explanation on screen. I change up my look and battle some Team Star Grunts. Damn! I will give that to them. That was a cool intro. After heading to school, we meet up with Naomi. What? The heck? Naomi? What is wrong with my script writing? We meet up with Nemona and discuss Victory Road. After a lot of days at school, like a lot of days, we're finally left free to go into the wilderness. Even though we're only 10 and only have our cat and some other things to like guide us. Whew. That was a really long intro. Sorry it took this long, but there's a lot in the intro that you need to kind of just discuss, and you know, it's just, okay. You know, you probably don't care. Let's just get into the gym, huh? Yeah, the gym! After witnessing a fight between the white-haired emo and the teacher's pet, I accidentally make my way to Victory Road. I had to take an interview and completely failed it because I have no experience, they said. I mean, I have 0 badges, and maybe only level, like, 15 Pokemon. But what the fuck, man? You know what? Fuck you. That was just, So, I did a little bit of cheating. I decided to head west to the Bug-type gym leader. We should probably take a look at the team that I have, you know. I have Salad, the Stonks, the Lechonk. Jeez, that is so hard to say. Little Chungus, Pooper the Whooper, your mom, and Little Doe the Fido. Okay, is that your mom joke? It was meant to be you, because you know, like, Ralts evolved into Gardevoir eventually, and, we're gonna be like, yeah, it's like your mom. Like, hot, yeah, don't show the clip. Oh. Okay, listen, okay, Smash. That's what I'm saying, bro. You just gotta look at the numbers. I also got a Diglett named Diggle. Don't ask why it's called Diggle. You don't want to know. Let's skip to the Bug-type gym leader. After completing one of the weirdest gym challenges I have probably ever seen, the gym battle wasn't extremely hard. Little Doe takes out the Nimble with ease, and also the other Pokemon, which I really can't remember the name of. I switch out into Pooper with her Terra-type Teddiursa, which turns into like a bug type. Now, this was kind of rough. Pooper goes down to a Fury Cutter, as well as a lot of my team. But thankfully, a lucky flinch from Little Doe takes down the Teddiursa and gives us our first gym badge. Let's go! I set my sights for the Artisan Gym, which is a grass-type gym. After my last gym, I realized I really needed to train up my Pokemon. So how about we skip the 40 minutes that I was running around aimlessly. I made my way back to Mesagoza, where I encountered Argon. Again. But he's not really important to the story right now, so we'll just ignore him. After making it through all the rough terrain, now it's time to fight this man's plants. And, he's very intimidating. Can we pause for a second here? Normally, you are meant to find all the Sunflora in the gym for the gym challenge. However, there's one Sunflora in this town that you battle. Weird, right? I passed the challenge, but it was weird. Now for the gym. I knew Pooper would be our best bet when it comes to grass types. I sent him out to put the Toxic Spice in. Then he switched into Tater Tot, a Pokemon which I recently caught, and used it to take down most of the gym. But when his grass-type Sudowoodo came out, I made the mistake of sending in Salad. But we clean up the battle and get our second gym badge. Fuck yes! We also meet this very weird guy outside the gym. We set our sights for the Levancia gym, which is an electric type gym. I also brought Big Diggle on the team because electric types. But then I met my worst enemy thus far. Christian, the office worker, and his Klefki of hell and pain. This battle lasted 20 minutes of back and forth fighting. I was in so much pain and just wanted it to stop. But I pulled through. I take on Nimona again, which is still one of the easiest battles I've ever done, then challenge Iono, the electric type gym leader. In order for us to pass the gym challenge, we need to get our viewership up. Well, I hate to break you the news, but Twitch's views are declining, and oh hey, and it's our director! After getting the dub, we're finally able to take on Iono. Now, for the first time, I was drastically unprepared. Like, it wasn't even a competition once we got to our Mischievous. But then, after leveling up the team, it's time to try once more to get it. I was able to take down the Wadrow with Salad, and sent how Diggle against Luxio belongs, so I sent in Salad to finish up the fight. Let's talk about Pooper for 1 second. He's a poison and ground type with water control. That is so broken. So we were able to set up Toxic Spice and take down the Belly Bolt, which only knows electric and water type moves. I think you can see the problem with trying to attack there. And after a close call with Misdreavus, we won our 3rd match. Yeah! Hey! Now guys, let me remind you. Save that. Let me remind you of something. Why don't you go and smash that subscribe button? I mean, you could. Moving on. At this point, I started to realize I need to be able to complete some of the Paths of Legends quest. And you'll be able to see me completing that soon. But for now, let's just skip over it. We're going to the water type gym in Casaferica, and we head inside to be greeted with the gym challenge of returning the guy's wallet. Yeah, because apparently he forgot it on his way to gambling. So we have to go all the way across the desert to reach him in Porto Marinera. But before we can give him his wallet, we have to deal with this ass over here. Oh my god, bro. So I gave him a little kick. Then we give the gym leader, by the way his name is Cafu, his wallet back. He then becomes a rip-off Mr. Beast. So, I bet 45,000 Poké Dollars and win completing the gym challenge. Even if I was kinda underleveled, when going into this fight, I knew it would be fine. Salad takes down the Veluza with ease. Lildo takes down the Wug Trio, and the final Pokemon... Oh, now it's gonna be dead to like poison, maybe. If not, it's gonna be... Yeah, it's incredibly low. Yeah, it's done. We're done here. With that, I got my 4th gym badge. Yeah! We're halfway there. Oh. Out of this whole run, I would say that Gym 5 was the hardest. I definitely got slapped in the face after the last few battles. I'm of course talking about Larry, the normal type gym leader. Larry's strongest Pokemon's type happens to be the one type I cannot counter. Let's just start at the beginning. I make my way to Melody to fight him. Google the answer to this gym challenge. Did they just die? Did they just die? Did we just kill a bunch of people? And fight Larry and lose tremendously, thanks to his Pokemon being way higher level than me. So for the first time in this run, I'm stuck, and I need to swallow my pride and grind. And this is exactly what I did. And it was really difficult. I was so sick of grinding just to be on par with Larry's team. But I did find some level 45 fish that made it pretty easy to kill. But again, I challenged Larry. Salad kills the koala, don't really care to remember its name, and Pooper takes out the second Pokemon. Now it's Staraptor. I barely made it through this with Salad, and I did do it. Larry is now defeated and all is well again. Yes, yes, yes! Oh. Because now I have my 5th gym badge. Again, Nimona wants us to battle, but she loses. And this time, in front of the top champion. Again, we need more abilities from the Path of Legends, and as I already said, we'll save that for a different time. I set my sights for the Bug-type gym in California. I recently caught a Dragonair that I wanted to evolve, but it was too high level to use. But I needed to grind again, so I went back to the fish again. I made it to the gym challenge, which kinda felt like a fitness test, but as usual, I passed. And now I met what Pokemon would be like if it were made by Gen Z. Hello there, I'm Teal, the gym leader here. Did Virginia say you slayed? What the? You slayed out there. I don't know how to feel about this. Hee, I must say you're a cute challenger, are you? Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. This gym was really boring. Bug types are just not it. So, here are all the kills. Mom, get the camera! Alright, nice. Now we can go on to the... Before making my way to the next gym, I caught a Riolu named Doug, before going back to do what I love to do most. If scientists are ever wondering why the fish population is going down, just tell them to watch this video and they'll know. Then I make it to Montenerva, where the Dark-type gym leader is. Nimona again wants another battle, so I do what I do best. Nimona sucks. Just remember that. The gym challenge, we need to hype up the crowd. And of course, we achieve it. We achieve it. What else did you want? This is my time, this is my day, you're not gonna stand in my way. Listen up, Rhyme, your rain-ins here, you're gonna get rung by this pro cashier. Oh, damn. Boom, boom, pro cashier, well, I'm about to check this out. Must got your rhymes on a deep discount. Please, you think you're gonna step up your game. Fool, I got the rhyme right there in my name. I'm a spectre from which there's no projector, and a victory unto me you will render when the crowd sees you as a mere pretender. Now we take on the Dark-type gym leader, Rhyme. For the first time in like this entire run, I actually came over level. As much as Rhyme's lines were aight, her Pokemon were falling left and right. You see what I did there? That was a rhyme. Ratio nerd! And now we have our 7th gym badge. One more to go. Finally, we have Grusha, who is out in the literal middle of nowhere. So I did my final gym challenge, which was legit, just like every single other gym challenge that we've done. I won. I feel like this is getting kind of repetitive, but it's the last one, so I don't care. And again, I was underprepared now. I tried to win, but didn't come on top because of one thing. I forgot to buy more revives. LOL, lol, happiness, ha 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 ha. That's a real knee slapper. Why? So I bought some more revives, and yeah, I came out on top. It was pretty close, but I did it. I don't really want to explain the battle because it's not very much interesting. I don't know what to do anymore, man. But now I have all 8 gym badges. So I took a few days off to work on some other missions in Pokémon Violet, and also to train up my Pokémon, and now here's my final Elite Four team. Mag the Magneton, Doug the Lucario, Big Boy the Dragonite, Pooper the used-to-be Wooper, Salad the Meowscarda, and Good Boy the Arcanine. Now this is the most prepared I have ever been before a battle in this video. So I teleport my way to Victory Road. And I take the same exam that I once failed. Oh, so long ago. I pass it with flying colors. First up is Rika, who specializes in ground types. And ground is one of my biggest strengths. Salad runs rampant, murdering all of Rika's Pokemon. Big Boy also comes out to clean up whatever is left. 1 down, 3 to go. Next up is a child. Wait, a child? Why is there a child? Okay, you know what? I don't care. It's time to take on Poppy, who is all about steel types. Good Boy takes out the first, as well as the second, third, fourth, and final Pokemon as well. 2 down, 2 to go. Next up is our old pal Larry, the depressed businessman. He's in the flying types, so Magneton carries this battle through and through, along with Pooper backing him up. Well, now, let's skip to the end of Puzzle's fight. I designed every Pokemon on my team to wipe the Elite Four teams, and it never considered backup. So when his Bax and Clear came out and one-shot Big Boy, I didn't know what to do. Now, with boosted Dragon type moves, he could fully wipe my team if I didn't do something before. You see, completely on accident, off recording, I taught Doug a Dragon type move. Because of Doug, we made it out of the Elite Four alive. The champion, the one who has been watching us from the start, the one that held a deep desire to battle us. And now, it's go time. The champion battle wasn't as hard as it was led up to be, as we fully wiped all of Greta's team. But now, the true Pokemon champion awaits, as we enter one last battle with Nimona. Soon, it was her starter against mine, representing a time when things were much simpler. Before I even stepped 1 foot into the academy. Finally, the Pokemon goes down, meaning we have officially beaten Victory Road. Thanks for watching. And now I actually started a VOD channel where I'll be uploading the whole gameplay of Victory Road. You can watch the video with the first link in the description or the card on screen right now. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hi, I did this before. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet came out 2 weeks ago. I posted my first video last week. So maybe you wanna go check that out? I don't know, I think it would be... Today, I'm going to be playing through one of the other side quests in the game, called Starfall Street. This is a quest about the evil team for the game called Team Star. Why don't we just jump into it? I'm going to rush through a lot of the beginning because I go into further detail in part 1. So, you can go watch part 1. I chose Sprigatito as my starter. Meet Nimona.
Hey yo, what the?
Fall down a cliff. That animation. Meet a mean guy named Arvin. and set my sights for Yuba Academy in Mesagoza. After a quick change-up of my look, I run into a girl who is being bullied by Team Star, who is our main target for this video. The battle really wasn't hard, as Nimona gave us a Terror Orb, which allows us to terrasilize. Here's a definition on screen. The girl's name was actually Penny. And, yeah. She was getting bullied. What else do you want me to say? After talking to Arvin, I was about to leave when suddenly my phone got hacked by someone named Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia, why don't you cast open these nuts? Oh, I have to include that in the video, don't I? They talk about how they want to take down Team Star for all their evil doings. When they hang up, the director of our school, Director Clavel, tells us to shut up, and so we leave. After going outside, Cassiopeia hacks into my phone again and tells me about all the Team Star bases, which there are 5 by the way, around the Paldea region. Alright, long beginning out of the way, let's get into the game. And very quickly, we're skipping pretty far ahead, because when I was filming for my Victory Road video, I accidentally ran into Team Star's Segan squad. I agreed to be part of Cassiopeia's operation, and then we meet Clive. He's kind of familiar looking, if you know what I mean. And he also gets accepted into the operation. He's apparently an academy student, just like us. Very believable. After basically murdering the Team Star grunts animals, this is where the story stops for a bit. Mainly because I was completing the Path of Legends quest and the Victory Road quest. So, yeah, skipping ahead. Now my Pokemon were very high leveled. And no, this was before the massacre on the Chansey species. And, we'll talk about that later. And because I was very high leveled, I went in expecting this to be super easy. And well, let's just say it turned out exactly how I thought it would. I rang the bell and started on the mission. I had to kill 30 Pokemon with the auto battle technique, which is literally exactly what it sounds like. With all of that being super easy, then the boss comes out. His name is Giacomo, I think. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. And after a pretty big loss, he handed it his 2-week notice. Oh yeah! Then we learned that Team Star actually had a code of conduct, which was constructed by this guy. They're also waiting for someone. The strongest boss in all of Team Star. Learn about all of that. You get hacked again by Cassiopeia, who gives us some crypto or Bitcoin or whatever. Then Penny shows up, as now she is also part of Operation Starfall. And she gives me some Pokemon parts, let's just say. Cool, 1 down, 4 to go. Now I take on Team Star's Fire Squad, which is located near Levancia, where I meet Clive, who kind of looks like Director Clavel. I don't want to be that one guy, but he kind of looks like Director Clavel. I'm just saying it, but you know, I digress. I head up to the base where I battle another Team Star grunt. Clyde comes back with this little buddy right here. Oh, he's so cute. And his name is Charlos. We love Charlos. Another hack from Cassiopeia, and they tell me all about the Sheeter squad. Sheeter? And they're burning passion or, you know, some shit like that. I ring their very real ring doorbell. Not sponsored, by the way. This fight was a little bit difficult because, you know, my starter was at a disadvantage. But whatever, it's not like it was hard or anything. Then Mommy comes out. Oh, jeez. I mean, Anyway, Mila, yeah, comes out with her truck. And now for the battle, yeah. Oh yeah, and also her Tesla Model X goes down pretty fast. It was just a big disappointment. Then, again, we were taken to around a year and a half ago. We learned that Mila was very much the fire of the group, being very intimidating. Then we learned about Operation Star, and their biggest comeback ever. But against who? And we're still hearing about this big boss figure. So who is the big boss? But they say Operation Star is apparently their biggest treasure. We don't have answers now, but we did defeat the fire base. I'm running out of ideas! And after getting some Ethereum and Pokemon parts, 2 down, 3 to go. Now to the Poison Group. After meeting up with Afro Man, Miss Director Clive. Director Clavel. Clive. We see a kid who really wants to speak to the boss of the group, whose name I don't even want to try to pronounce. He is apparently his compadre and owes something to him. I mean, I beat up the kid. Wait, no! Then I ring the abode doorbell, and now it's time to storm the base. Kinda. This is where my level gap sort of started to catch up with me. And a lot of my team is weak to poison, so it was kind of a challenge. But I managed to wreck 30 more Pokemon, and now my kill count is officially 90. By the way, I killed the Skuntank, the Revavroom, and the Toyota. And then, once again, we go back in time to nearly a year and a half ago. This boss was a costume designer, and obviously designed all the costumes that Team Star was wearing. But again, we learn more about Team Star. The supposed bullies themselves were actually the ones getting bullied. Team Star was made to stop the bullies at the academy, and they used that through Operation Star. But whatever happened to these bullies? And still, who is the big boss? And a question that I haven't really asked is, who is Cassiopeia? And what are their intentions for taking down Team Star? We still have many questions that are not answered. The kid had come to talk to the boss and try and not get him expelled from the academy. But now, I beat the Poison Crew. Hey, that's what I'm talking about! I got some Binance and some more TMs and animal parts. 3 down, 2 to go. Alright, the next crew is the Fairy Crew, which the boss there is the youngest member out of all of them. I mean, his freaking piano teacher is here. Like, what the frick, man? I mean, it's kind of funny. Anyway, Clive shows some concerns for who Cassiopeia is. I mean, I think we all do. And we take on the piano lesson guy, by the way, and kind of struggle, but ultimately we come on top. Now I ring the base's front point and start the challenge. The base hunt was still a little harder, and no, this is still before the tragedy of the Chanseys, which it was something, let's just say. The fight was also pretty simple. Not many casualties. Oh, yeah, and also the Ford went down a little bit, and it had a bit of a fight, but yeah, it went down. And now, for the 4th time, we go back 1.5 years again. We learned that the bullies were very much scared of Operation Star and ended up leaving the academy. In fact, according to some of the bosses, the bullies didn't even put up much of a fight. More along the lines of being cowards. But in doing Operation Star, they damaged their own reputation. And because of the previous director, all records of them doing any good at the school were destroyed. And I guess that's why everyone thought they weren't pretty evil. But now we know why Team Star was made, but we still don't know who made it. Hell yeah! I got some more tether and, more parts. But 4 down, 5 to go. Before I talk about this, just know this was actually recorded after the Great Attack of the Chanseys that happened in 22. And yeah, it was really boring, and I have a huge number of Chansey parts now, and I don't want to ever use them. But after checking out the new mountain area, which I had never been in, I go to the fighting type base where I meet Clive, who is already battling the boss of the base. An actually named Grunt tells the boss to go rest up, and she wants to battle me. Well, I mean, what did you expect me to do at this point? I won. Cassiopeia tells us that this is the final base, and that this will be the toughest one of all. I know we're pretty late into the video, but here's my team going into it. We have Salad the Meowscarda, Good Boy the Arcanine, Doug the Lucario, Pooper the used-to-be Wooper, Mag the Magneton, and Big Boy the Dragonite. And after reading I ran out of doorbell brand names. I infiltrated the base and killed another 30 Pokemon. But now I was thinking more about Cassiopeia. How I have absolutely no idea who they are and what they want to accomplish. I challenged Erie to the battle, which is harder than usual, because fighting type Pokemon are pretty much stronger. But I do win, regardless. For the final time, we go back to that fateful day, 1.5 years ago. Except, we pretty much know everything. And even when we encounter the Grunt, she tells us stuff we already know. But yet, our real question is really yet to be answered. Well, I guess that's all of them. Who is Cassiopeia? The one question we've been asking ourselves the full video. Who is the boss of Team Star as well? Don't worry, searching out for them, the true identity of the big boss is none other than me. I knew it. I literally knew it. I knew it. That was, oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to keep it from you for so long. The whole time. Everything that has been leading up to this. As they tell us to meet in the schoolyard after dark. I make my way to the school where I see Clive, who turns out to be Director Cloudbull. That was so interesting. Oh my god. But what really threw me through a loop was that he confirmed that the big boss was him. While battling him, I didn't quite know what to think. I beat him pretty easily before realizing that he was lying about being the big boss. And then he gets yelled at by Time. You know, the math teacher. But as I go into the building, and inevitably the courtyard, something doesn't make sense. Who could Cassiopeia be? Well, only one person has never been there while Cassiopeia was calling. Only one. Penny, the girl we helped from the start. The big boss of Team Star is Penny. Her plan was to make herself lose to me in order to disband Team Star. So we engage in a battle. That was honestly not that hard. In fact, it was pretty easy. And Clive, the whole time, was recording for all of Team Star to watch. So we go back in time, once again, to after Operation Star took place. Cassiopeia knows that the group needs to stop. What they did was not okay, and everything about that. But the others refuse. And again, we see how secretive Penny is. She takes the full blame for everything. And leaves the group just to protect them. But everything changes once the bosses show up. Team Star gets punished by having to run their own things that mimic the style of the Team Star bases. Then Director Clavel tells me to go to his office. By the way, he famously revealed that he is Director Clavel, and it was pretty funny. He congratulates me, and Penny comes in and admits clean how she's been stealing the crypto illegally. Then Penny and I meet outside, where she thanks me and gives me a TM. And she wants to know, how on earth could I repay the debt that she owes me? And before I go, I started a VOD channel. It's called Arieis VODs. You should go check it out if you really want to. I already uploaded the full adventure of Team Star on there. Give it a watch if you really like. But anyway, thanks for watching this video, and have a great rest of your day. Alright, here we go. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet came out 3 weeks ago. And yes, I'm reusing footage. Hey, maybe you want to go check out that video as well. Today, we're playing through the final quest in the game, the Path of Legends. Let's get started. We'll go over the beginning one more time. I get out of bed. Mommy, meet my rival. Oh no, I pick Sprigatito, then battle Nimona, and then I fall off a cliff. Met this thing, and then it walked me through the cave. I also met a very high-level Houndour. The dragon grabs me and takes me to the surface again, and then just kind of dies. Then I meet Arven, who seems to have an issue with me and my dragon. He gets mad at me and then challenges me with a level 5 Squavit. So yeah, I might have done some things. This crybaby bitch runs away and gives me a Pokeball. Miraidon's Pokeball. The legendary of this game's Pokeball. I go to the top of the lighthouse and set my sights for Yuba Academy. I make my way to Mesagoza, change up my look, battle these fools. If you want to know their full story, the video's on the card on screen. Once I make it to school, I head to the cafeteria and meet Arven again, who actually seems a little bit happy to see me. Wants to go lick some herbs or some shit like that, but doesn't have the skills required to do it. So he gives me the location of all 5 Titans. So now again I have to do a little bit of skipping, and I've already finished 3 gyms. I go over to the Badlands area. I don't really know what that is. I don't really want to look it up either. And I see a crab on the wall who runs away from me. But then I catch up, battle him, and he dies, but not, and runs away. Arven shows up again to help me out with the crab now, who just went Goku on us. I also think what it just ate was weed. Before going on, I feel like I should explain this game's gimmick. Terrestrializing. Here's a definition on screen. And it gets buff because I didn't completely one-shot it, so... But, I win either way. We head into the cave to find some Herba Mystica, and Arven whips up a sandwich. Miraidon comes out and requests my sandwich. So I give it to him, and he powers up. And now, hey, I can go faster. Yay! Oh, hell yeah. But when I'm not there, and when the game's just a black screen, Arven sends out a Pokemon. I don't even know who it is. I get a call from Professor Turo, who by the way kind of looks like a Giga Chad, and he teaches me to dash with Miraidon. 1 down, 4 to go. After making my way up the mountain with a lot of really easy trainers, I get a call from Arvin telling me that there's a Titan nearby. Also that there's falling rocks. So yeah, I avoided those. I met this very ugly bird up top. The bird was a little bit more difficult because Salad has a disadvantage to flying types, and I had to use Arcanine, but still it was easy. The bird does that Goku syndrome thing, and we fight again, but this time with Arvin. At this time, I think both Arvin and I put up an equal fight. It's not like I was relying on him too heavily. We go inside the cave and find some more Herba Mystica. Arvin makes us some Subway footlongs. And again, Miraidon comes out and steals my sandwich, but powers up again with the ability to swim. It's too easy, man! Miraidon actually tries to steal Arvin's extra sandwich, but he snaps. Then he reveals his reasons. His Pokemon had been injured in a fight with another mysterious Pokemon, but this time he couldn't get it to heal. And so Arvin wanted to get these Herba Mystica to make sure his dog fully recovered. And again, we see this weird area. Area 0. And that's the story. Now 2 down, 3 to go. I make it to this place on the map to find a worm. That was kind of easy. Oh, it moves. And now let's fight. And it has arms. Orthworm takes out Good Boy, so I switch into Salad to finish up the fight. Then it burrows away. I follow it into a tunnel to lead to a new area, where it also goes Goku. Arvin shows up as well to help. I terastallize and do quite a bit of damage. Then I clean up the fight and follow Arvin into the cave, where we found some more Herba Mystica. Then we get some Firehouse subs. Miraidon powers up again, this time being able to jump higher, and Arvin gives his sandwich to Mabasiv, who finally speaks for the first time in a while. 3 down, 2 to go. The next Titan is in the Aceto Desert. This one kind of looks like a Don fan. I chase it and eventually corner it and start the battle. It's Iron Treads, which came from Area 0 apparently, which Professor Turo told us about. Iron Treads was tough. I wasn't high enough level to take it on, but somehow I managed to pull through. However, when it got to its Goku stage, it was hard, but the Pokemon was targeting Arvin's Pokemon, so I was able to get a lot of chip damage in, and so we were able to defeat Iron Treads. Go in the cave to find one more of those Mysticas. He whips up a Jersey Mike sandwich, Miraidon eats my sandwich again, and powers up. This time being able to fly, woo! Oh, and the dog didn't have anything major happen this time. Alright, 4 down, 1 to go. Bro, I am on fucking fire right now! I did a lot of grinding, thinking that killing all the fish was how to get the Titan, but it turns out that was good for a different video. It was part 1, by the way. I mean, you could also go watch that too. I found the fish that said Titan on it, and then I watched it get eaten alive! Crazy times. Oh yeah, the final Titan. Yeah, it was easy because of all that fish massacre. The fish retreated, so I followed, and then the small fish went inside to get the Mystica. And then we saw the food chain at work again, and then the big fish went Goku. And it wasn't hard. But then after that, the little fish came out again. I legit can't describe this food chain. It's weird. And the little fish was more difficult than the big fish. Arvin was basically soloing this until his Greedent fucking died. And then I barely managed to outspeed and kill it after using 3 different revives. Oh my fucking god. Hey, but at least we got the last Herba Mystica. I gave Miraidon my Jimmy John sub, allowing him to climb. Arvin gives his to his Mabasiv, and then a miracle happens. Mabasiv makes a full recovery. However, we get a surprise call from Turo. He explains how he needs Arvin to get back to the lab. Arvin explains that Turo was his dad. How he hasn't had a father, in a way. I go back to Poco Path, where it all started. Where I beat Arvin there. Arvin explains his reasons for why he hates his dad. We head into the lab to find it's dusty everywhere. However, the computer turns on. Turo explains why he needs help, and now he's stuck in Area 0. He also said he needs the Violet book to carry out the final step of his research, and Arvin just so happens to have it. However, he warns us about the dangers of Area 0. He tells us that we should get others before leaving into Area 0. However, Arvin wants to battle us first. And I'm going to be honest, I lost. I was too underleveled, and I just needed some more time to get higher leveled. So I went off and did the Elite Four and killed a lot of Chanseys. Then when I came back, my Pokemon were around over level 62. Arvin didn't really stand a chance. I wiped the floor with him. However, he makes a point. We need support if we want to enter Area 0. He recommends Penny and Nimona. But first I need to finish Starfall Street! Arvin gives us a call telling us that he has some people to go with us to Area 0. I head off to the 0 gate. Where I meet Arvin for our final challenge. We check out the inside where we meet Nimona and Penny, who Penny turned on the lights. Turo manages to get a hold of us to tell us things we kind of already know. We make our way to the lower level. I send out Miraidon, and we fly into the great crater of Paldea. We made it into Area 0. Also, Miraidon seems scared of something. Turo calls us again, telling us that there are 4 locks in the research station scattered throughout Area 0. Before making our way to the first research station, Penny absolutely roasted Arvin alive. Nobody asked you. Stop flexing up. Nobody asked. Yeah, guys, nobody asked you. We also encounter a Glimora, which Nimona and I take care of. In fact, it was actually mostly Nimona, but we don't talk about that. Now, we're inside the first research station where Turo informs us about it. Then we disable the lab. Now, we also see the relationship between Arvin and his dad worsen. The group starts to make up on our way to the second lab. However, before going into the research station, we find another Pokemon. We see a robotic Delibird. Iron Bundle. Penny and I battle and it goes down pretty easily. And Turo also explains some things. Turo explains that Pokemon like Iron Bundle are from the future, but were brought back in our time. In the 0 lab, there's a time machine. However, humans cannot return from this time machine. So, hold on. Let's say a human were to go to the future. Now, this human can no longer return to the past, unlike Pokemon who can just go in a Pokeball. Press the button and move on to the next one. Before making it to the next station, we meet a Pokemon, a familiar face. Iron Treads, but smaller. And so I killed it. We talk about how if these Pokemon were to roam Paldea, then disaster would be inevitable. Inside the third station, Penny makes an interesting observation with maybe Miraidon being a future Pokemon. Arvin explains that it was found by his dad when he was working on the time machine. In fact, that was the first thing that Turo brought from the future. Apparently, it's a future version of Cyclizar. But apparently, there's also another one. Somewhere in Area 0. I press the button, and now we only have 1 lab left. We make our way to the lower levels where the final lab is. Out of all the labs, this one was the most destroyed, but we didn't encounter a Pokemon outside, so yeah. However, creepily, the professor's voice is skewed. but I turn off the final button. And now the Zero Lab is finally unlocked. And then we made it to the deepest part of Area Zero. Professor Turo calls me and warns us about all of the dangerous Pokemon inside. Now, let's take a little bit of a break. I know I haven't fully shown you my team at this point, so why don't we just go over it. I have Salad the Meowscarda, Big Boy the Dragonite, Doug the Lucario, Pooper the used to be Wooper, Mag the Magneton, and Good Boy the Arcanine. Alright, before we push the button, we let Miraidon out for some reason, then we push it. But then we were attacked by the other Miraidon. But it didn't attack us. It just stopped and went inside the Zero Lab. Then the dangerous Pokemon Turo warned us about came out. We managed to defeat a bunch before the others told me to go inside the lab. The other Miraidon is there, but he goes back into its ball. Then we learned the truth about Professor Turo and how he's actually an AI-powered robot. The real Turo died. He takes us down the elevator where we see this strange room. Turo also explains why he can't leave the lab. AI this powerful like him has not been invented yet, meaning he cannot go out into the world because of it. He also tells us to put the Violet book in. However, if we do that, we have to battle him. Which, he is an AI, and one of the strongest trainers in this game. But I put the book in, and now it's time to battle him. This fight was really hard because he had all of the iron Pokemon. So lots of switching, damage, potions, and headaches later, we defeat Turo. Then Arven, Nimona, and Penny all come down to the lab. Turo thanks us and tries to have a one-on-one with Arven, but then the machine boots up again. Turo sends out the other Miraidon. My Pokeballs were locked because of some crazy electric signal, except Miraidon's Pokeball works. So I swapped him in and he transformed into his battle form. We managed to do some chip damage before my Terra Orb starts glowing. So, I terrestrialized with Miraidon and finished the other Miraidon with a Terra Blast. Turo congratulates us. He gives some beautiful words of encouragement, but tells us that the time machine won't stop unless he's gone. He knows he needs to go to the future to stop the time machine, but also for his own sense of adventure. And then he flies into the future. Arven has a realization that it was for his best. But then we did it. We saved all of Paldea. But now, I think it's just time to make our way home. Again, before I go, check out the VODs channel. I'll be uploading everything there. Thank you for watching my playthrough of this game, and have a great day. Yo, the new Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC just came out. If you haven't already, I recommend watching the first 3 parts of this series. A little lore update: we previously took on the champion, contributed to the fall of Team Star, saved Arven's dog, and stopped the professors at the bottom of Area Zero. Today we're going to be playing through the first part of the DLC, the Teal Mask. So my recording software actually crashed, so I'm going to use the YouTuber Beard Bear's footage for a little bit. It was a peaceful day at the academy. Then, boom, we won the lottery. So basically there was a raffle for who would get to go on the field trip. We totally didn't rig the whole system by paying 35 bucks. We got to go. The teacher named Brer from Blueberry Academy came to pick us up for this special trip. She explained that we were going to go to the land of Kitakimi, and we were given a new Pokedex and set out for this new land. So this pussy got airsick and needed to be treated. So we had to go up to the town we've never been to. We meet up with the students from Blueberry Academy, Karamine and Kieran, who doesn't stop saying, "Wowzers!" Karamine is also a little bitch who can't accept my superior battle skills. The caretaker had us all go inside where we chill for the rest of the day. The next day, we were given the task to seek out all the signboards that house the Kitakimi legends. Kieran, who is Karamine's little brother, developed an obsession with me, which Karamine quickly caught on to. So Kieran would go with us to the first signboard. The signboard tells a story of an ogre who one day came down the mountain, enraged, causing great fear among the villagers. However, 3 Pokemon, dubbed the Loyal 3, sacrificed themselves in order to send the ogre back up the mountain. Right behind the signboard was their burial for their noble cause. And Kieran also explains his love for the ogre. Goddamn! Kieran made a horrible mistake in mentioning sandwiches, which meant... yeah, that... Hey, sorry again for interrupting the video. At this point, we got the rest of the footage back, so again, thanks Beard Bear, link in the description to his full video. We made our way to Kitakimi Hall, the home of the second signboard. There's currently a festival going on, but we'll ignore that for now. It's time for lore! Alright, so in this lecture we learned that the ogre had 4 masks. Each one would change its power. The teal mask could bring greenery back to life. Crimson mask could make a candle bigger. The blue mask could stop a river. And the ashen gray mask could break bedrock. Before the noble 3 died, they managed to take away 3 of the 4 masks. And again, Kieran made a comment for his love for the ogre. Don't worry, big guy, it's okay. This isn't even close to the worst things that the Pokemon community has done. Oh my god. Obviously, because of his weird fetish for the ogre, we went into the cave where the ogre lives, and shocker, it wasn't there. Maybe next time we shouldn't break into random homes. Oh yeah, Kieran wanted to battle, but it didn't really work out. Kieran invited us back to his place to get jacked out with Jinbei. All we need is a mask, and looks like we didn't get one. We crush Karamine in a battle and make our way over to the festival that I previously talked about. Kieran buys some candy apples and takes us to the new mini game, Ogre Oustin. It's basically like the average school cafeteria where you're trying to steal everyone else's food and protect your food from fat kids. We easily clear it and gain the XP charm? Yeah, I don't think we need that. As we continue on with the festival, we encounter a mysterious figure. The mask falls off, revealing them as the ogre. Karamine makes the executive decision to lie to Kieran, which definitely won't bite us in the ass later. Foreshadowing! Anyway, we decide to leave the festival. It's a new day and Karamine wants us to show the mask to Gramps. We give it to him so he finally thinks we're worthy of the truth. So, a long time ago, a guy and this ogre, known as Ogrepan, came to Kitakami. The villagers didn't like them and shunned them from society. Except one, the village mask maker. By wearing the mask, they could be accepted, and rumors spread which caught the attention of 3 Pokemon. The masks were stolen, with only the teal mask remaining. The ogre found and killed the Pokemon that stole the masks. However, doing this set into motion the misunderstanding. The villagers thought the 3 thieves had died to protect them from the ogre, and the ogre would be alone in its cave for a while. We couldn't tell anyone about this, obviously, especially. We find him at the shop where something is obviously wrong, but he asks to go to the 3rd signboard and finish up the assignment. At the signpost, we battled Kieran again, but he was thrown 6 feet under. The 3rd signboard was kind of a internet creepypasta. If there is a shadowy figure and you have no mask, pray it is only a man and you'll live another day. If it is an ogre, you'll meet your end, or something like that. How many more? We visit Karamine's house again, and Gramps tells us how to fix the mask. So we head up to the crystal pool, sorry, the laggy pool, and meet up with Karamine there. I was just about to jump in to get some crystals when Milotic jumped out at us. I used a Terra-type boosted 100% crit move that instantly vaporized it. Oh yeah, and if you somehow don't know what terrestrializing is, here's a definition on screen. Blair comes to the crystal pools, as she actually has a fascination with Area 0. We pick up the crystals and return to Caramine's house to talk with Gramps, only to find out Kieran stole the mask. That son of a bitch. He fled to the Loyalty Plaza, the location of the Loyal 3 statues. He basically explained why us ignoring him for a couple days was similar to the resentment of Ogerpon built up upon thousands of years of misinformation. Bro thinks he's him. He tried battling us so he could keep the mask, but he got his ass handed to him. And then I guess he just pushed the statue. I think we have some anger issues we need to unpack with you, honestly. He reluctantly gives us back the mask and runs off. The statue began to shake. And then boom, blew up, causing the Loyal 3 to be revived? Yeah, I don't really know either. The townsfolk nurtured and basically buffed the now called Lousy 3. You're really making our lives harder, you know. We knew that they would try to get that last mask, so we made our way up to the ogre's den. The ogre was getting bullied, so we stepped in and beat up the little monkey thing, which scared the other legendaries away. We formed a team to go search for the rest of Ogerpon's masks, but first we need to insight on where the fuck are they. So we went to Mosuyi Town to get answers. Ogerpon stayed behind while I spent the next 30 minutes looking for one kid who was right here all along. Once we got all three located, we registered them to the map, and then Kieran left the group for some reason. Asshole. So we got to work, starting with Monkey Dory. We followed his location to find a pond with, holy shit, why is he that huge? I didn't know the timings at the time, so we kind of just threw shit at the wall before something stuck. And we minimized it and got the first of the 3 masks, the Wellspring mask. Yes, sir! On to the next. This one we found right outside a cave, which by the way was obviously huge. It went inside, so we obviously followed before popping out the other side to find the bird whose name is way too long. This is the toughest fight by far. Not knowing type matchups definitely made this hard for me, and in fact it was immune to dragon type moves, which made it worse. Like a lot of my team is dragon types. I did figure out that they all shared poison types, so Tinkaton kind of carried this fight, and with that, we got the Hearth Flame mask. I'm running out of things to say! Last on our grocery list was to defeat Okidogi. This is my personal favorite of the 3. We made pretty quick work of this guy thanks to Dragonite and secured the final mask, the Cornerstone mask. Yay? I guess? Kieran came over to us and told us to bring Ogerpon to the village. And we obviously were a little bit skeptical at this point, as he kind of has gone a little crazy, but we decided to trust him and bring Ogerpon to the village. Apparently, Kieran has been running around in his spare time not being on the team, telling everyone the true story about the Loyal 3. I guess enough people believed him for there to be a welcoming party for Ogerpon at the village. Ogerpon's name was cleared, and we got to say goodbye at its den. However, because this is a Pokemon game, Ogerpon has grown to like us and wants to come with us. However, something was just off about Kieran. He finally challenged us to a battle. The winner would keep Ogerpon. Honestly, even if he did really like it, something was just inherently wrong about this whole battle. But I still wiped the floor with him. He finally stood back as we challenged Ogerpon to prove our strength. Dragonite proved himself tenfold with the seemingly endless phases. First up, the Hearth Flame mask. We quickly took care of it with True Dragon Rushes. Plot armor prevented Ogerpon from fainting, so it's time for phase 2, the Wellspring mask, which literally went the exact same as the last one. Another plot armor, and it's time for phase 3, the Cornerstone mask. I switched into Salad, which would be super effective, and used Flower Trick, a 100% crit move, and one-shotted it. One more plot armor, and we reached the final phase, the Teal mask. Good Boy did a lot of damage, and was ultimately substituted for Dragonite, who finished up the fight. We caught the Pokemon, and the rest is history. Caramine wanted to meet us at the Loyalty Plaza for something, so we headed up there. She requested a battle to show off Ogerpon's skills and practice. Yeah, my other Pokemon are better. Like, what the fuck are these stats? I still absolutely destroyed her, but still. Blair called and asked us to meet at the community center. Blair informed us that the Blueberry Academy students would have to leave early, unfortunately, because of the developments in Area 0. So we say goodbye to Blair and Caramine for now, and move on back to the land of Paldea. Yo, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet came out over a year ago. Since then, I've been covering my playthrough of this game in the previous 4 parts of this series. Before we're able to jump in, let's recap on the journey thus far. We previously took on the champion, contributed to the downfall of Team Star, saved Darwin's dog, and stopped the professors at the bottom of Area 0. In the first part of the DLC, we meet Karamine and Kieran, who are Blueberry Academy students, and we become friends with them. Over the course of the DLC, Kieran would battle us, and of course, every time we won. There was also an ogre named Ogrepon that we eventually caught. We also met a teacher of the academy, Brer, who has a fascination with Area 0. Today we'll be playing through part 2 of the DLC, the Indigo Disc. We meet the Blueberry Academy principal, Cryano, to find that we were recommended by Karamine to come visit the school as an exchange student. We then fly to Blueberry Academy in the Unova region. We meet Lassie, who seems to be the second in command. She also wants to battle us as well. Now, I didn't really touch on this in the previous video, but the Teal mask was insanely easy. So when I went to battle her, I was thrown through a loop to find that she was actually difficult. And another gimmick of Blueberry Academy is double battles, which that's pretty cool. But yeah, after that battle, I think it's time to really think over my team. We move into the Terrarium, not my fault, they tried to make it a pun, where it's revealed that Blueberry Academy has managed to take some terrestrial energy and use it to manage their school. To sum it up, that basically means Pokemon can terrestrialize here. Oh yeah! And if for some ungodly reason you don't know what terrestrializing is, here is a definition on screen! After class, we get a call from Karamine to meet up in the center of the Terrarium. We catch up and she decides to battle me, which is the worst mistake anyone can make in this universe. We reflect on the battle before... Kieran, he's changed. And... not for the better. We, however, are not spotted by him. But someone else does come into play. Drayton, the old champion of the BB League. The current one is Kieran, and because of this, there's a lot of drama happening between everyone. And then, for some reason, we get the catching charm? I don't really need that. We go to my dorm room, and Karamine talks about her excessive hatred towards Drayton, and Kieran's quote-unquote phase. We head to the cafeteria to meet Drayton to talk about joining the club. However, we are interrupted by the Elite Four and champion of the club, as they need to talk. But now, we're finally able to talk with Kieran. Everyone's mixed about allowing me to join the club because I'm an exchange student. Ultimately, Kieran decided to let me participate. We head up to the front desk to sign up. But anyways, we are tasked with beating the members of the Elite Four. We start with the Fire-type member of the Elite Four, Crispin. She tells us for a trial that we need to make a spicy sandwich, but we can't use our own ingredients and we must trade for others. Was there any doubt? He also mentions the history between Kieran and I, and how he wishes that everything would just go back to normal. Anyway, because of how shaken up I was because of that other battle, I decided I needed to come into these battles with a strategy. I decided to use a Flygon that I caught to use Earthquake with Dragonite out front. This means it'll only damage his team. However, the beginning of the battle was all over the place because all of his Pokemon that had Levitate were out. But we cleaned it up by the end. Jesus Christ. Drayton also keeps stalking us, which we really need to talk more about. Next member I challenged was the Fairy-type user, Lassie, who actually gave us the school tour. The trial was a Pokemon quiz. Yay! I really hate taking quizzes. She also gives us an apology for the way that she rejected us joining the league. Now for the battle. It was by far the most annoying battle for all the wrong reasons. From what I've gathered, Lassie seems to be a very strategy-focused trainer. I was going to use my Dragapult's Poison Terror type with Terra Blast, but he fell way too early in the battle. This basically meant I was winging it for the majority of the battle, and that is something that you don't want to have happen. This Slowbro also caused me so many issues, and the Alcremie was especially annoying with its spamming Recover. However, I was able to barely pull through. Please make it stop. Just as we're leaving, Kieran showed up. He starts bullshitting us, saying that he was worried I'd fail. Yeah, this is definitely the face of a sane person. Next is the Steel-type member, Arieis, who is genuinely the most boring person I think ever in Pokemon. Anyway, we gain the ability of flight and have to make our way through the Magnemite rings to add time. My dumbass couldn't find that goal for some reason, so I had to redo it several times. She also then asks about Kieran and how she apparently wants to be the one to fix him. My plan for battle is to use Doug's fighting type as my advantage, as Teal is weak to fighting. Overall, I do think that this was the easiest battle to win. She also finally sees that she isn't him. Well, I guess her, but... I'm not even joking, there's nothing I can say about this person. Then again, Drayton comes to bother us as usual, and holy shit, he's weird, let's move on. But we can't, as we have to take him on for the final Elite Four member. Now, his trial was by far the most annoying, as we had to participate in terrarium-only battles. This basically means you can only use Pokemon caught in the terrarium. Now, I don't really focus on the Pokemon I caught for these videos because it's not why you're here. That's why I've also been neglecting to catch many Pokemon here. Anyway, the first trainer was pretty easy, but to beat the second one, I had to go out and catch a Pyroar. And the third one, yeah, it was over so quickly. Now for Drayton. I was pretty prepared with some Dragon-type moves. However, I wasn't aware that he'd be spamming pseudo-legendaries. Legitimately, this battle was only difficult because half of his team are pseudos, and the other half are designed to be the worst Pokemon to fight alongside pseudos. I was basically heal stalling and constantly reviving my Pokemon so I could beat them. But then, it happened. I finally beat Drayton. Ah! However, Kieran showed up. He was talking so much shit about how it took me a while to beat the Elite Four. You a bitch for that. But now, we must challenge Kieran to a battle. Drayton comes out and gives his very unwanted take while we wait to apply for the battle. He also tells us about Kieran's absolute obsessive desire to beat me, which has been running him and the club into the ground. The two of us are standing, waiting for the final battle. Kieran's final chance. He leads with the Dragonite and Politoed. I quickly take out Dragonite and switch into Flygon. But in all seriousness, Kieran's Pokemon were falling like flies. And just before I knew it, Hydrapple, Kieran's ace, came out. Just like before, Kieran was backed into a corner and used everything he had. But ultimately, it wasn't enough. He lost. Drayton felt that he had to rub it into Kieran that he lost. He also congratulated us for a win, as well as giving good advice to Kieran. We finally had to step in. The club is in chaos now, however, because an exchange student won. However, we can't worry about that right now, as Kieran, Karamine, Drayton, and I were all called to Brer's office. The announcement specified that it'd be Brer and guests. We all meet up at her classroom where she tells us that the guests are touring the school. She also congratulates us for a win, which of course pisses Kieran off. But then she reveals the true purpose of us being here. She finally got permission to go down into Area 0, and she wants to find Terrapagos, said to be the cause of all terastallizing. The guests also finally make their way back. It just so happens to be Gita and Rika from the Pokemon League in Paldea. We also get some more backstory on Area 0, which basically summed up means people were allowed in there around a decade ago for research purposes. However, a Pokemon that is extremely dangerous has the very real chance of escaping. Therefore, more research needs to be conducted, and fast. They need our help as we seem the most capable and have the most time. Karamine and I agree to go, but Drayton stays behind because of all the chaos at the club at the moment. Before we're able to leave, we have to talk to Gita. Then, it all goes to shit. Finally confronted about the things that went down in Area 0 that we were a part of. It's also crazy to believe that all went down over a year ago. Gita seems to be on our side, but warns us that very few know about what happened with the time machine, and Brer is one of them, with restrictions. Gita also forgot to give something to Brer, which was found by a researcher a long time ago. She has a suspicion that it has something to do with Area 0. That item is the Indigo Disc. Then we meet up with Brer and the others to head in to Area 0. We're finally back. We explained that we actually came down here with our best buds that we haven't seen in a year. Brer explains that there might be something even deeper than the Zero Lab. The writer who made this claim, however, was unable to remember anything about what happened down there. We made our way down to the Zero Lab, where we found that it's closed? That's weird. We obviously need to disable the lock. However, considering it's been a year since the panel was last used, we were unable to open it as it automatically became locked. Now, the first time we were here, we opened up the 4 locks before coming down here. However, before we leave, the panel detects the Indigo disc. We insert the disc into the panel, which opens the gate with greater privileges. We noticed the elevator and decided to go inside. Instead of taking us to the big terrestrializing room, it took us down to the Area 0 underdepths. Terrestrial energy was at an all-time high in the undergrounds. Taro's old writings are here that explain the stellar type, which seem to be exclusive to terrestrializing. We encounter a stellar type form of a Glamora. Here's a good definition on screen that explains stellar. We defeat the Glamora, opening up the way. We also do the same with Noivern, Iron Thors, Garchomp, and Garganacl. It was basically the same thing over and over again. Kieran and Brer also both run into the next room, which seems to be the lowest point of Area 0. There's a smaller gem attached to one of the crystals, that according to Brer seems to be the treasure of Area 0. But again, Kieran's madness gives him. He believes with the treasure that he can beat me for good. He calls back to Ogerpon, how it chose me over him even though he loved it his whole life. The fact that Karamine and I held a secret from him for so long, and the fact that he's worked so hard only to lose in the end when it mattered the most. The crystal came undone, revealing the Pokemon, Terapagos. It looked at me and began to crawl towards me. Kieran, since the very beginning, has lost every single time we battled. This was his final chance. Terapagos transforms into its new form. However, it's still no match for me. I take it down. Brer, completely oblivious to what's going on, informs Kieran that Terapagos needs to be terrestrialized, so Kieran obliges. But what happens is not what he expected. The Pokemon went rogue, nearly killing Kieran. The energy was so strong, it broke the Master Ball. We have to weaken it in order to catch it. Karamine and I get on the battlefield while Kieran finally starts to see past his insanity, but he's refusing to help. Terapagos sets up a shield around itself, meaning the only way to damage it is through terrestrialization. I terrestrialize Salad and break the first shield, but Terapagos absorbs our terrestrial energy, meaning we downgrade for another 2 turns. Kieran still can't see that he's needed, so we have to handle this phase all by ourselves. The first round of terrestrialization failed as the Pokemon died, but the next time I terrestrialized Dragonite and finished the second shield off. However, it absorbs all my energy again, making another shield. Finally, we encourage Kieran to get in on the fight, breaking him free from his insanity. We both put everything we had into the final shield, and eventually it broke, meaning we could attack. We finished the battle and caught it, stopping Terapagos. Brer also finally breaks free of her ambition, realizing she let us all down here, and apologizes. And Kieran finally lets go of everything and cries alongside Karamine. But now, we finally head back to Blueberry Academy. Kieran promises to make amends and wants to be friends again, and we all walk back to the school together, better friends than we ever were before. We find ourselves back in Kitakami, specifically the Crystal Pool, almost as if we were drawn to this place. Terapagos comes out, making a blinding mist, and then someone appears, a familiar face. Professor Turo, and from the looks of it, the real one. Miraidon comes out and refers to it as the Iron Serpent. He speculates that we might not even be from the same timeline, but asks to exchange data. We ask him why he's here, but he's not too sure himself. We then ask about what he's studying, which he tells us about the very time machine that we stopped not too long ago. Then we ask about his family. He talks very little about his only son, Arvin. Then we switch. He asks us where we are, which is of course the Crystal Pool. He then asks about Miraidon, but we can't really get much information about that. But then he notices a book, the one written by Brer, titled The Treasures of Area 0. He has to trade for the Violet book, which we accept. But after that, we bid him farewell as the mist disappears. Thanks so much for watching. I want to shout out the VODs channel again. I'll be uploading my full playthrough there along with the Teal mask. And if you're wondering, I will be releasing a video covering the epilogue that's soon to come out. But anyway, have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Yo, the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC just came out with a new event, the Epilogue to the entire game. Anyway, here's a little bit of a recap. Previously, we took on the champion, contributed to the fall of Team Star, saved Arven's dog, and stopped the professors at the bottom of Area 0. In the first part of the DLC, we met two siblings, in Karamine and Kieran. We met an ogre named Ogrepon and outed the Loyal Three as lies to the entire land of Kitakami. In the second part, we became champion of Blueberry Academy. However, the constant losses were driving Kieran insane, which all culminated when Terapagos went rogue, nearly killing Kieran. We defeat and catch it, and leave a permanent mark on everyone that we've met so far. And I thought that was originally where the story was going to end. But today, we're going to be playing through the epilogue of the game, Mochi Mayhem. Oh hey, before the video starts, sorry for not uploading in a bit. I was very overwhelmed. I made a whole community post if you're curious. Our journey starts back in Kitakami after we receive the mythical Peacha Berry. In Misui Town, we go over to Peachy's and see this dusty old decoration. But then we get a call from an old friend, Arven. We last saw him over a year ago at this point at Area 0. Arven asks if we would like to hang out at our place at Cabo Poco. We head over to Cabo Poco where two others seem to be with Arven, Penny and Nimona, the other friends we went down to Area 0 with. They apparently overheard that we were going to hang out, so they tagged along too. We had dinner before we all congregated in my room. My mom, god damn, came up and gave me a letter from Kieran. He went down to the Area 0 Underdepths with us to stop Terapagos, the cause of all terrestrialization. Oh yeah! You are absolutely living under a rock if you don't know about this at this point, but here is a definition of screen about terrestrialization. Nimona and Penny both leave to help my mom while I read the letter that Kieran gave me. He's basically asking us if we want to go catch up in Misui Town. He also includes some tickets for our friends as well. Arven also seems a bit jealous of Kieran and wants to thoroughly remind us that he is our best friend. We tell the rest of the gang about the trip, which leads to Arven feeling a little bad for just inviting themselves to the trip. But Kieran did include extra tickets for a reason, so we all plan to meet up later at the gate and break rig for a little bit. Before we go, our mom tells us to stay safe, and we head up to the southern gate. We walk up to the group and Penny seems to be on the phone with her dad, who sounds very familiar. Penny also seems annoyed with her dad, but is quickly silenced by Arven. If you know, you know. Anyway, we set out for the land of Kitakami. We meet the caretaker of the community center, who tells us how our rooms have been taken care of by Kieran, who told the caretaker we would be coming. Arven also seems to really need to drive his point across that he is our best friend. At the house, we get to see Kieran again, who is still 60% onion. He apologizes for not meeting us at the bus stop, saying things have been crazy at home. Nimona makes herself known very quickly and wants to battle. Arven also starts driving his point from before that he is our definitive friend. And apparently Kieran's the enemy. Okay, damn, Kieran catching all the strays. Nimona also can't handle herself and drags Kieran to the battle court. Nimona apparently wiped the floor with Kieran, which, holy shit, you gotta be careful, you're basically poking a wasp's nest. Arven and Penny come over and comment on the battle as usual.
Karamine comes over randomly.
Mochi. Some of y'all got problems. Like, y'all got real problems. This shit is not normal. She starts doing the chicken dance out of nowhere, and we carry her out of public to avoid embarrassment. In the aftermath, we ask if Karamine's okay, which Kieran reveals that it all started when the letter was sent. The townspeople are speculating it's a curse. However, there aren't really any more old stories that could explain the curse, as we've already dealt with the Loyal Three and Ogrepon. We also agree to help Kieran with this whole mess and head back to the community center. Nimona got back from Peachy's and got some soda. We decide to try and find the TV remote. Caretaker hid it somewhere, so we now need to find it. We search the place high and low until we find the remote in a plant. Then Penny starts trying to bribe us, but we notice something. Nimona isn't there. We came to the consensus that she went outside. Kieran and I head out while Arven and Penny wait at the center to see if she comes back. Outside we see two workers from the Orchid who are still out. We head up to talk with them. This so-called curse has affected them too. This time though, they seem a lot more aggressive as they attack us. I'm gonna be honest, it was never really a competition. We also realized that the two were acting like Karamine, which is really strange. But then we saw Nimona going towards the Kitakami Hall, and we decided to follow her. At the foot of the hall waits Kieran's grandpa. He's here to get Karamine's favorite noodles, but he did also see Nimona. They spoke with her, but before he could tell us, Grandma was holding some mochi, and Gramps ate it. 2 of them were also cursed, and of course that means they were very aggressive. Even so, we still wiped the floor with them. It really does seem like everyone's losing it. It's now all starting to get to Kieran's head, and we all know what happens when something gets to his head. However, thanks to this interaction, we were able to find that the mochi is the cause of this. Arvin also called and explained how they were getting worried and went outside, but they got attacked. They seemed to be fine though. However, Penny screams at Arvin, and somehow the phone loses reception. We need to get back to PG's. Once we get there, everything seems okay. We learned that Penny panicked and smacked into Arvin, causing him to drop his phone. Penny was also going on about this weird thing. Kieran was writing the riddle of explaining before Arvin spots something on the roof. It spits mochi into Arvin and Penny's mouth. We dodge it from hitting our mouth, and Kieran gets hit in the head though. But it was too late. They swallowed it, and... we need to battle them to calm them down. Throughout the battle, the two seem embarrassed, or at least showing a little bit of themselves again. After the battle, the thing that fired Mochi was booking it away. Kieran began to chase after it to the Loyalty Plaza. At the Loyalty Plaza, we found Nimona, who is also infected. However, we have a bigger problem. The entire town is behind us. We're in a bit of a pickle here. I tell Kieran to watch my back, as I challenge Nimona. She sends out Lichen Rock, which I instantly vaporize with Salad's flower trick. Then she sends out Ryombi, which I take care of with Bitter Blade, and also I heal up. Forgot to switch into a dragon type, so I had to waste a turn. I play rough with Home Depot and take it down. Pawmod is a weird Pokemon because I didn't quite know the type. This led to Doug getting absolutely annihilated. I then sent in Mr. Hands to Earthquake this thing to death. Death is fitting for the name. Goodra comes out and I accidentally use Earthquake, which led to Mr. Hands dying. Home Depot comes out and play roughs it, killing it instantly. Her starter then comes out. I didn't, however, take into account that maybe her Terra type might have changed. But none of that mattered in the first place because I still destroyed her. However, we're not done yet, as the mysterious Pokemon made itself known. It's finally time to challenge it. There were a couple problems that I had. 1, I didn't know its type, and 2, I forgot to heal, meaning I'd really have to figure something out quickly. I sent in Home Depot to bait it into using a poison type move, which has no effect on it. Yucatan Hammer did not work, and it was very quickly nasty plotting up, and because of this, Home Depot died to a Shadow Ball. I sent out Dragonite and used Aqua Tail, which I thought would work, but didn't at all. However, it was getting low. I went with Dragon Rush, and it crits, killing it. And during its time of weakness, I catch it. The curse began to lift, and everyone started to become normal again. We meet up with Arvin and Penny and explain what happened, but then we walk up to Nimona. But she's just trolling. Okay. And then she says that she thought this was all a dream. Okay, moving on. Karamine comes over and starts bitching about not knowing anything like she usually does, but in the end, we all decide to go to bed. A few days later, and it's time for us to leave. We head outside and see Karamine and Kieran. We begin to say our goodbyes and reflect on the trip. Arvin also finally apologizes for this weird best friend obsession, and we all head back to our respective schools. In the end, we save Masui Town again, for the last time, headed back home. With that, thank you all for watching this series. 6 parts is insane, and I'm glad I was able to cover this game as religiously as I have been. Tomorrow there will also be a full compilation of the series, so make sure you check that out if you want to rewatch all of it. But, for the final time, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next Pokemon game. Thank you.